All right, man. Talk your talk. Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. All right, so I'm gonna do the intro now, and then we just gonna go straight into the video. This is gonna be a long video. Legendary Spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful single sex ladies put one in the chat. All the fellas, you know the final ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is right on the screen. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. 13 subscribers, over 19,000. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. Also, too, there will be a battle rap event on this page, October 26th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5:30. Yes, make sure you're here for that. It's free. All you have to do is watch. It's on there. Bring the popcorn. And 25,000 subscribers, I'll be giving a nice size cash prize. And also go subscribe to Torture Talk After Hours. 5,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a nice size cash prize over there as well. So let's get to this, man. I'm the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. I don't know if I said that, but I was saying. So look. All right, so this episode is about Kendrick Lamar. How he won the battle, starting all the way back from when he first started his music career all the way until today, and how he became who he is and how he came up with everything, the names and his name and everything. This is a pretty good documentary, so we're gonna watch this whole thing, and I'm gonna give my commentary in it. So in fact, let's do this one a little bit different. Let's turn the lights out. Turn off the lights and get Compton. Who used to sing that? Teddy Pendergrass. Turn them off. Nigga was aggressive as hell. Turn them off. Let's get it.
It's God's side and the other side. All lies will be exposed.
Oh my God! Certified lover boy, certified what? Kendrick, stop!
And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
This man won 5 Grammys off of one song.
The Grammy goes to...
The Grammy goes to...
Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar.
There's no discussion anymore, bro. Kendrick has won the beef.
You know, at the end of the day, past all the politics, past all the numbers, it's what music make you feel.
Yeah, you gotta understand, man. Some people say Not Like Us is the last chapter in the book. And now he's in what they call it, epilogue. As they say. Is the epilogue is at the end, right? Was the index will be at the beginning, right? The epilogue will be at the end. Yeah, the epilogue will be at the end. Yeah.
You are a part of the generation who were a kid when there were the riots in LA.
Yeah, I was there.
But did it still affect you back then or in your family?
It definitely affected us back then, anytime I smell smoke, some type of smoke, I think of Rodney King Rice. It's a certain smell, wood is burning and, shit like that is burning. That triggers for sure as far as my memory.
There's smoke everywhere. My pops had a bunch of rims, car rims in the backseat, because he just came out to swap meet and took like a whole bunch of rims. Went back to the house, then he came back again and had like a refrigerator or something like that.
You are the generation who saw a black president, but you are the generation who saw many black people still killed by the policemen. Mm-hmm. How does it feel to live in that schizophrenia?
It's tough. It's really tough, especially growing up in the city of Compton, because it's so easy to get your hands on negative.
Basically coming to grips with reality, saying I'm a teenager, I'm out here. It's a possibly chance that I won't see tomorrow.
Do I have this right? You saw your first murder when you were 5 years old?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
It was outside my apartment unit. A guy was out there serving his narcotics and somebody rolled up and with a shotgun blew his chest out. These stories are so...
That's crazy as hell, bro. I remember when I got a gun pointed at me, I seen my life walk right in front of me. Like walk in front of me and look me straight in my face. Like I literally seen my life walk in front of me and look me straight in my face. A slightly older version of me too. But I lived in Newark, New Jersey, and dudes was going around scaring people with guns, and they used to go around. We was obsessed with Onyx back then, and they was going around cutting people's hair. I used to always have long hair. I used to get braids all the time, but these are dreads. But I used to get braids and then braid it back, and I used to have one. I used to take it out, and I used to leave my hair out. Right? don't ask me why. I thought I was a fabulous free bird or some shit. But anyway, yeah. So, dude came up. They rode up in the car. I was walking home from my girlfriend's house, and dude came up, shotgun pointed it right at me. Like, boom, you dead. And I was like, I almost pooped on myself. I can't remember what happened. But yeah, I definitely seen that.
And so in depth, it's just about me seeing somebody get killed. Just as a kid, yeah. Being right there and knowing how it all went down, you feel me?
Immediately it done something to me right then and there to let me know that this is not only something that, you know, I'm looking at, but it's something that maybe I have to get used to.
It starts with my family in Chicago. I came straight to Compton in '84, had me in '87, so the gang culture was always in my life.
I was raised inside the gang culture.
My parents were fairly young, you know, so I actually grew up with them. And I was in a household where they partied and they had fun. And
me being in a household with all these house parties, you know, my parents being young, it was a new life.
Yo, it's crazy how, if you look at this picture, right? Look at this.
Parents fairly young, you know, so I actually grew up with them. And I was in a household where they partied and they have.
Kendrick Lamar is the tallest. I don't know if he's standing on something. So that means his whole family is short. I don't know if he's standing on something. I don't think he is. But everybody, well, his cousin right back there or whoever that is back there is taller than him. But yeah. Or at least all the females are shorter.
Fun.
And me being in a household with all these house parties, you know, my parents being young, it was a new life for me. It was a fast life. And me being the only kid, I got to witness all of that.
Was your dad in a gang or something?
Yeah, he's affiliate.
He was affiliate. So your dad's in the gang. They decide to move to Compton.
Right.
How do you avoid getting into the gang lifestyle in Compton when your dad is not telling you it's a bad thing?
Well, he's actually telling me. I was probably like the only one out of my friends. I had about 30 friends in the neighborhood. And the only one had a pops there every day telling me, yo, don't do that. My pops did what he had to do, you know, to put food on the table. You know, sometimes it wasn't always, you know, the super legit way. And me being young, I was a pretty wise kid. I knew what he was doing, you feel me? This is, for a minute, it made me like, I want to be just like him.
As I grew as a person, you know, I had to make the choice and I found out what was right and what was wrong. I think at the end of the day, it made me into a positive person. I mean, living in a crazy-ass city, that's my whole story.
California Love. So you were on the set of the video when you were like 8? Mm-hmm. How did you get on the set?
I was around 8 years old. They were shooting a video in my neighborhood in Compton. My father seen him, went 2 blocks down, got me. By the time he got me, everybody was out there. It was like pandemonium, you know, he put me on his shoulders. And there they was, Dr. Dre and Tupac right there. And I think it was a white Bentley. That moment right there, whether I know it or not, subconsciously, I think it eventually branched me off to what I'm doing now. You know, it was already designed in destiny. That day, I said.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy to be out somewhere like that and basically be you like, it's crazy to see how you look back then at your idol and now you're arguably bigger than your idol. Just imagine if your idol was still alive and how he would be looking at this. That's amazing.
I want to have an influence like that on all these little kids. 15 years later, I meet Dr. Dre, and I explain that story to him when I seen him, and he remembered that exact same moment. And remember them kids that was out there. And I said, Dre, I was one of them kids that was there.
I was raised around music my whole life. You know what I mean? From gangster rap to oldies.
Since he was born, I brought him home listening to like stuff like NWA, rap, oldies, everything. That's probably how he got inspired.
It was inevitable. I really was a big Pac fan. You know, Pac passed, it was a void that was missing in hip-hop. DMX came out.
I started writing because DMX, first album, when he came out, because it was a void that was missing. I need to hear some real shit that motherfuckers that I can relate to. And as a kid, I connected with it, you know, because I see my older cousins going through the same type of feelings and emotion that these artists are going through.
I'm so far ahead of my time, I got people 5 years from now pressing rewind.
I wrote my first line when I was 13 years old. I was just rapping about killing people. Oh man, I think I probably killed about 30.
Bruh. Oh my God. Like I said, I was rapping about killing people. Bruh. That's crazy.
People in like 2 bars. I done sold this amount of dope. Because that's all we've seen. That's all, you know, that was around us at the time. And the city relate to that. It's your boy K-Dot, giving a shout out, Dub CNN. Before the world knew me as a Kendrick Lamar, I was K-Dot. The nickname, that been inquired since I was a kid, just being in the neighborhood. That name will always be there. You know, I go back to the city now, they don't call me Kendrick. I jumped in the booth at 16. Did my first mixtape, the youngest head nigga in charge, and I wanted to start in Compton, so I spread it out at the school, Centennial High School, the school I went to in Compton. That was the era when I was a student of the game. I was studying everybody, people from Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, or DMX, to Wayne. It took really a lot of years of just preparation. All that progressed, you know, me constantly standing in the studio, practicing, putting these tapes out, training today, Kendrick Lamar, EP, OP, OD. That's just constant practice, constant practice. It caught the buzz, man, and it caught the ear of a cat named Dude Dog that was in the industry, somebody we looked up to in the neighborhood. I remember Top sitting on the side of the boys, like, go in the booth. Let me see if this really you rapping. He put me in the booth and I freestyled for like 2 hours before he said, okay, this really you. And that was the beginning of my test.
Man, you rap for 2 hours. You a good boy. 2 hours? Bro, 5 minutes is long. I mean, it's a Black Thought rap for 15 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? Who was it? Killer Priest rap for like 30 minutes or something like that, right? Bruh. Come on, man. 2 hours. Top Dog really was like, yeah, I want to see what this get. Yeah, I can't. After an hour, you got to be like, let me see what I could do. You only rap 15 minutes long. I need you to rap an hour and 45 minutes more, cause I need to see what we gonna do with you. Like, come on, bro.
And I've been with him since I was 16, man. Top Dog Entertainment. He grabbed me and J-Rock off the streets. Get in the studio. Do something better with your life. They basically developed me to where I'm at today. You know, locked me in the booth and make me study my craft. We had nowhere to go, you know, all in the same studio. The more and more we was in there, we built a brotherly bond. Myself, Schoolboy Q, Absol, J-Rock, Black Hippie, Carefree. You know, that's the meaning behind that title. We feel like we have our own style and our own sound, and, you know, we're not confined with what the industry wants us to do or what radio wants us to do.
Man, I'm in the city of Compton, checking out my man. You might know him. He goes by the name of K-Dot, but recently changed his name to
Kendrick Lamar. K-Dot was a student of the game, just learning his niches. And by the time I became my own person, you know, Kendrick Lamar came and have more story and more details and what I'm talking about and more concept, you know. I felt like these people need to know who I am, not just a person out here rapping like every other person in the world, you know what I mean? Well, I felt like it was a time for the world to know me as a person rather than just a person that can rap 100 bars. It was not only a different name, but a different approach in the music style, you know, that actually stood out from the rest of the pack.
It feels like when you change your name to Kendrick Lamar, that's when a change happened in your career. Like, you start to get noticed by different people, and it was like you took a different turn.
Right. What was like that first moment where you thought, like, wow, this is actually turning a corner? Like, people are really getting it.
I think it had to be the Kendrick Lamar EP. When I did the Kendrick Lamar EP, it had more substance and more of me in it. I started to realize that the more I did that type of music.
That album is actually pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. I listened to it the other day. It's actually pretty good. I think that's the one he was talking about going to the Source Awards. J. Cole was late. It's like, nah, I'm here. I think that's the album.
More people was related to me. That was basically me introducing myself to the world. Like I said, where I'm from and who I am. Put out the Kendrick Lamar OD. That was an extension of that, giving them more of me, overdosing on me. And right now, I'm working on a project called Section 80.
Section 80, it means a generation, my generation. When I said Section 80, I talks about everybody from 1980 to 2011.
Teenagers, young adults, just going through the trials and tribulations of becoming an adult and being responsible. I want them to know that
I guess that's the question I have for y'all. Is Section 80 a classic to y'all? It's a classic to me. And it's not just a cult classic. I think Section 80 is definitely a classic. A lot of people like Section 80. A lot of people like Section 80. I'm surprised that he ain't do no songs off of Section 80 on his tour. I'm surprised. I know people would love that. But he definitely should do Rigor Mortis or High Powered. High Powered is crazy.
not talking to them, I'm actually talking with them.
It's me times 10 from the Kendrick Lamar OD. Section 80 is you times 10. I feel like I accomplished it because I go in these streets and they be like, man, yeah, you did it for me. I had got a lot of criticism on that album cover. People think that if you have a Bible, it's supposed to be some holy water on the side of it. That's a person that's already, saved. I'm not speaking on them. They're good. I'm speaking on a person that's looking at this clip you just put on the drawer, these condoms, a woman's lipstick, and sees this Bible, showing that he's still a human being, but he's trying to find himself at the same time. That was the whole point. I definitely expected the impact that Section 8 has, only because, I think I executed it well to where, it made sense to everybody.
Nigga, you got the torch, nigga. You better run with it. You better run with it, nigga, because it's yours.
So you're on stage now, and you've got Dre, you got Snoop, and you got The Game, and then they crown you the new king of West Coast. How does that feel?
Man, it feels great. That's a lot of responsibility for sure. Man, these is heroes. For them to come back full circle and embrace me. Man, it feels like the grind and the dedication really pays off at the end of the day. That's how I feel. Feel good. That moment right there was all the emotions coming out, on stage from the hurt, and the struggle that my family been through. The ones I lost, the ones that want to see me make it, but, didn't get to see that moment. All that came out on that very stage. I don't think they really understand the story all the way, how more in depth the story really is of my life for growing up in the city.
That's got to be one of the greatest feelings. Being an artist like him, and you got artists who been doing it longer than you and then crowning you. And they kind of knew. That's the crazy thing. Like, even The Game, they kind of knew that this guy was gonna be the best ever. It's crazy. I'm from the East Coast, and I can acknowledge that Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of all time.
As far as I put out there, I'm just the good kid in the M.A.A.D City. You know what I mean? I put out the positive out there, but they don't know the negatives I had to go through yet.
My inspiration came from me growing up in Compton. My album represents one day of me living in the city.
A story about, a group of teens just trying to figure their way out, trying their best to escape the influences.
It took me my whole life to write this album. All my achievements, all my failures, everything is within this album.
The album is really about me moving on with my life, moving on from the past. Everybody knows Kendrick Lamar for, who I am now. But in order to gain that insight, I had to come from this place. This place of loneliness, darkness, evil. Nobody knows that.
I talk about murder, I talk about violence, I talk about all of that. But The backstory behind it is who gives the consequences for it? Who going to pay for these things? Not to glorify it, to educate you on it, to know that it's real.
A lot of people think it's really just, about me, but it's really a reflection on the people I grew up around. A lot of people that they call delinquents. I embrace alcoholism, gang violence, brutality on my people, simply because it's topics that I'm most familiar with. It's hard to stop a habit. This is what we've been seeing since 1-2 years old inside the family. The half of the story of kids in Compton is just basically good kids in the M.A.A.D City. I feel that we are good kids in the M.A.A.D City. You know what I mean? It all.
I felt that way too growing up. I used to live in the projects. I was always, well, not always. They called me house wrecker. I used to wreck people's houses. But I understand what he mean by that. Like coming from a hardened background like that. Yes, it's very difficult to see past that when that's all you know.
Stems from being a kid and it's just the shit you exposed to, I was exposed to it too.
From Compton, I could have easily came out and said, I did this, I did that. I done killed a whole bunch of niggas out in front. Just giving off fact where I'm from. But that ain't me. I'd rather talk about my reality. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about something a little bit more deeper than that.
I'm doing it in a way where it's respectable, not only from them, but from the world. I'm not putting a bad name, on the cities. Compton got so much negativity and like we're not capable of anything else. And I felt like music was, a positive light. I go through these neighborhoods, and they say, keep telling the message, keep telling our story and keep putting a twist on it rather than just glorifying it. That gives me, enough hope and enough encouragement to keep doing what I'm doing rather than let the media portray something that, they think just to sell records. I always had this premeditated that it was going to be my album cover.
I want to say about Compton. Compton is like Brooklyn. Those two cities, in my opinion, so we would say Compton, let's say the cities in America, the number one most notable city, I believe, would be Brooklyn. Brooklyn was scary, eerie. They're the 5 boroughs, but we just gonna say Brooklyn. Then it probably would be Compton. Compton was, yeah, you already know. You know what I'm saying? And then anything else falls under that. You would say Chicago, you would say Miami, you would say Houston, Vegas. Well, not necessarily Vegas, but let's just say it was probably interchangeable back then. Compton and Brooklyn was basically the two cities in America that everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? Harlem, that's another one. Harlem was up there too.
Years, because it represents so much, not only the household I grew up in, but just a lot of people's lives that just came up, in the ghetto and in urban neighborhoods. That's my uncle right here. Both of them are uncles.
Okay.
All the way to the right, that's my grandfather.
Well, Harlem would be Manhattan, right? Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, right? So Harlem would be just a section of Manhattan. I don't think Harlem is its own city. I don't think so. If it is, then I'm stupid.
Baby bottom next to a 40 ounce, next to a gang sign, holding a kid. Like this it's not just me.
Grew up in, but just a lot of people's lives that just came up, in the ghetto and in urban neighborhoods. That's my uncle right here. Both of them are uncles.
Okay.
All the way to the right, that's my grandfather.
And a baby bottom next to a 40 ounce, next to a gang sign, holding a kid. Like this it's not just music to me. It's not just music to me. Like this is a story.
Storytelling was the whole niche of this album. I want to bring that back into the game. I just go through a breakdown as if I'm reading a book. you know, and how I want people to hear this from a book sequence. And I just thought of this crazy, you know, idea to tell this story about, you know, my life, you know, a situation that happened in my life in one day, you know, and make it a short film. You know, it's not 25 years, you know, and an album is just that one day. And that's a short film to me.
We're in the era of ringtone rap. We're in the era of where rappers, it's all about the hooks.
What kind of deal with the devil did you make to be able to make good music and actually be getting attention for it?
I make albums that have that type of longevity. If not, I can just give you a whole bunch of singles on one record. I make albums where I want you to go back and listen to 100 times. I love fun records. I love having fun. I love records that's on the radio, but it also needs that balance.
A lot of people enjoy the album.
That's a fact. You never lie about that. That's absolutely true. You need that.
But it also needs that balance.
A lot of people enjoy the album. I've been touring all around the world, you know, from this album and just seeing people's response and how they relate to it. So it's been a very, very productive year. Great reception, great response, great numbers, great reviews.
The album dropped, and then the same thing that's been happening with my, you know, career since day one, just word of mouth.
I feel great about it, knowing for the fact, you know, I went into this album making sure I didn't do nothing half-stepping. You know, I wanted 110% just greatness and, you know, keeping it original as possible. And I'm glad that everybody's aware of that and recognize it for that.
He's dope. That's what you wanted to know? What I thought about Kendrick?
I know you saw Pharrell's tweet. You're saying this era is Bob Dylan.
Crazy.
Yeah, he one of the next out of Compton. He's one of the next, to me, in America, period. He's one of the next.
And the Grammy goes to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Yeah, that was a hurt piece. I ain't gonna lie. Even Macklemore knew that the heist wasn't better than Good Kid, M.A.A.D City. He knew that. And you know the crazy thing is Macklemore is actually a pretty good rapper. He's not bad. He's actually pretty good when he raps, not when he's trying to be, you know, make a statement. Well, then again, I can't even say that, because even when he's making a statement, political views or whatever he stands on, I still respect it. And it's still pretty good.
Kendrick is a friend of mine. He's somebody that I love his music. And in my opinion, had the best rap album of the year. I think we made a great album. I think that Kendrick made a better rap album.
Did you ever feel any way about him posting the text message or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you. I think for confirmation from the world, you know, he probably felt like he had to put it out there, which he didn't need to do. He didn't need to do, but he a cool dude. But, you know, sometimes the card folds like that.
What do you want people to say about the album?
See, and that's why I like Kendrick, man. He basically said, like, look, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, like you got the nod, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and we've seen that. Macklemore said that he believes that Kendrick had the better album, better rap album. Everybody knows that. And I think he felt bad about it because he felt like, yeah, his album was better and we still won the award. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, in the perfect world, he would have told Kendrick to come up and get the award, but nobody's doing that.
You know, 24 hours after. I mean,
what do I want?
Is it gonna be a classic?
Yeah, 10 years down the line, it'll be a classic. They will be calling it classic.
Yeah,
they definitely will be, because I went in the studio making sure I did nothing less, you know, than something that's classic worthy. Right now, it's a great album.
3 mixtapes in, 1 commercial album.
Right.
What's going on with album number 2?
It's in the process.
It's in the process?
We're cooking. But you know what's funny, man? After my first album, Good Kid, M.A.A.D City, was like a super commercial success. I knew I wouldn't be able to give that experience again. I went into this album knowing that I couldn't remake a Good Kid, M.A.A.D City. It wouldn't be a Good Kid, M.A.A.D City Part 2, none of that. Your second album is always put in the industry to be your commercial outbreak, your huge commercial outbreak. You know, and you want to have these type of radio records. But for the simple fact saying I want to do it my way, it shows a lot of courage and a lot of integrity. When I went to Africa and I got to see other people's problems, you know, they struggle like 10 times harder. Going out there really inspired. I wrote a lot of records off the album just by visiting South Africa.
It really not only catapulted that album, but just my experience as a human.
Knowing that it was a bigger world than the reality I lived in. To get out of Compton and see other places around the world that's not just what I know. This whole time, my whole youth until my teenage years, to my early adulthood.
Yeah, that To Pimp a Butterfly is the greatest. That's the greatest hip hop album of all time to me. I don't have nothing over that. I have not yet to this day heard a rap album better than that. I think that album is the best hip hop album I ever heard. Sorry.
I felt like these four corners, these 4 blocks of Compton, that's it. There's nothing outside of that. Like, you can't tell me no different. When I say we didn't have a Caucasian kid from elementary, middle school to high school, I never seen one. I'm serious. Taking, you know, a group of people, you know, that haven't seen the world, and put them in these places that they haven't necessarily seen only on TV.
It was me explaining my experiences and what emotions it brought up from that experience, and tell them like, yo, it's something bigger than Compton and where we from.
Showing them something different other than the neighborhood and them being excited about it. That's why you have all them wild faces on there.
Does the crew come out every time you come to Compton?
Yeah. yeah. The feeling was missing home. The feeling was I should be with my family right now when they're going through hardships with the loss of my dearly friends that's constantly passing while I'm out on this road. I probably lost more friends in this past summer than any other summer. Chad Keaton, he was like my little brother, you know, and he was on the right path. But, you know, things happen where, you know, sometimes the good are in the wrong places, and that's exactly what happened.
What happened to him?
He got shot. And have to hear about his passing, it messes you up. All the way. When I say gangbanging made me kill a blacker than me, this is my life. I'm not speaking to the community. I'm not speaking of the community. I am the community. And I still deal with these situations today where I have hate towards another guy because he killed my homeboy while I'm on tour. If I still feel like that, then I'm part of the problem rather than the solution. It messes your brain up because you live in this life. You still have to face realities of this. I gotta get back off that tour bus and go to these funerals, you know, and go talk to my moms and talk to their aunties, the kids that you know, lost their lives. I'm learning to deal with the responsibility of, you know, being someone that the kids actually look up to. And I hated the word role model, but you can't run from it. Like I said, when I went out to these shows and I seen these kids and
That's a fact. I've been saying that for a long time. That's why you have to be real careful of what you say and how you say it on these pages. That's why I don't get on here and talk about people. Listen, you can have the difference of an opinion about politics or whatever. I don't get on here calling each other coons and oh, this guy this or he's a son. I don't do none of that. People have their own life. They have their own opinion. It's just that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a bootlicker and all. I don't do none of that. Nah. Nah. You a black man who has a difference of opinion. I really stand on that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So I understand exactly what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I understand it.
We live by your music and what you're talking about. That's something that you gotta accept.
And the Grammy goes to Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar.
You got most Grammy nominations for a rapper in a year. You made history already.
#1 album 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
But he doesn't care about all that. He doesn't care about all that.
You can have the platinum album, you know, when you still feel like you haven't found your place in the world, it kind of gives a crazy offset when you still feel like you're not comfortable. Where's the feeling in that? Winning awards and accolades is great, but it's not confirmation of success for me. The success of that record didn't come from the accolades and the awards. For me, it came from people going out there and singing all right in the middle of these streets and taking pride and dignity into where they come from and where they want to go.
Did you catch that, Lamar State?
I'm gonna ask y'all something. If you had to erase one of those songs, All Right or To Pimp a Butterfly, or not To Pimp, I'm bugging. All Right or Not Like Us, which one would get erased? And which one was, I know that Not Like Us is the bigger record, but All Right is like right there. Influence-wise, I think All Right probably was a little more influential. Not Like Us was more popular, but influential, I think All Right was more influential than Not Like Us.
His views on police brutality with that line in the song, quote, "And we hate the popo, want to kill us in the street, faux show."
Not helpful at all. This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
How can you take a song that's about hope and turn it into hatred? You know what I'm saying? The message, the overall message is we gonna be all right. It's not the message of I want to kill people.
Please. I don't like it.
From Damn. I actually seen that clip before too. What Geraldo was saying was, I think what he was saying had some truth to it, but at the same time, what this song was about had nothing to do with what Geraldo was saying. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop music, let's be clear here. I love hip hop music. But let's just say hardcore hip hop music, because not all hip hop music is the same. Kendrick Lamar is he doesn't spread violence. You have artists that actually literally talk about that all day. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that that doesn't contribute to to the influence of violent nature sometimes. Like it does. I remember when we used to go fight, me and my boys, we used to go fight these other boys from over on the other side of town, and we used to play Onyx. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take them out, bring them out, that shit. Onyx, throw your guns in the air. Like, we used to, like, it got us hype. That type of rhetoric does fuel you. But what Kendrick does is not that. And that's what Geraldo was wrong. He tried to lump all rappers in together. Nah, it's not that. The song is literally saying that we've been oppressed, but we gonna be all right. Like, and he's making it seem like, oh yeah, this is because visually he's seeing Kendrick standing on top of a cop car, and he's like, oh, see, this is why hip hop music has done more damage to the black community than anything. Oh, really? Really? What about the CIA? What about them? You don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about that. Like, come on now, cut it out.
To Pimp a Butterfly would be the thought of changing the world. Damn would be the idea of I can't change the world until I change myself. I think Damn is a hybrid of all these projects. It was me finally being able to take the message behind the Pimp a Butterfly, the sonics, and the beats slapping on Good Kid, and the rawness of just being able to do what I want like I did on Section 80. And I take all three of these, it makes a hybrid of Damn for me. And we wanted to make it for all arenas. Car, we want you to be in the club, say flying, listen to it and just vibing to it. At the same time, we want to have some lyrical content where it connect emotions you can relate to. You know what I mean?
Why Damn?
It was so many different ways you could put it in my head. It was like from the concept, damn if I do, damn if I don't. The loudness of the record, it just screamed that in my face. When I think of DNA, when I think of Humble, when I think about these records, it just felt like that.
Why just a single word for every song?
I write a verse and do the whole song, and then I feel or look at words that I feel like capture that emotion. That word comes across in some of the lyrics, and I just pull that word out. That actual word is what represents the whole idea of the song.
But what does it feel like to be on stage and see your fans singing and rapping the words back to you?
Man, it's an incredible feeling. I always go back to the moment I write the lyrics, and to see people rapping these lyrics from their raw emotion, from the feelings that I was feeling at the moment, you know, that's magic to me.
The Grammy goes to...
That's what I was saying before about Kendrick and how the way he set up his rhymes is easy to follow along with. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, why doesn't Drake do stadiums? There's a reason why I think, just me, I think Drake doesn't do stadiums, because he don't really have stadium music. He raps, he has too many words in a rap. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick breaks up his raps. Now he does have songs like that. But a good portion of his songs, he breaks up the raps. So,
damn, Kendrick Lamar.
Congratulations, Kendrick Lamar.
So this is when he won the Pulitzer Prize. What album was that Jay-Z went against Kendrick? Was that Magna Carta? May have been Magna Carta. It might have been Magna Carta. I'm not sure.
Kendrick Lamar.
So forever, I really appreciate this moment. I'm always had love for y'all. I will be back.
Cities across the United States remain in a state of high tension tonight as the country braces itself for another wave of protests over the death of George Floyd.
I wanted to live forever, you dig what I'm saying? And To Pimp a Butterfly is one of the moments where 20 years from now, you know, it'll probably be a little bit more prevalent than it is today.
And one of the celebrities or artists that's been quiet is Kendrick Lamar.
He should be doing something. You cannot stay quiet when your entire platform for the last 6 years has been Black Lives Matter.
No, I totally disagree with that. I don't think Kendrick Lamar's his entire platform with Black Lives Matter. No, I don't think so. I think that y'all put that on him. He made songs that you can probably would say that, but for you to say that this was his entire premise, no, I totally disagree with that. Totally.
Kendrick? Did you hear that, Kendrick?
You always reveal a lot, but it sounds like your most personal body of work.
Yeah, this is my most present. I've had a hard time expressing that vulnerability in person with people, but I found a way to express it through music. That was my way of communicating. During that process, I made the album, and it was therapy for me because in these certain circumstances of trying to communicate, you get a little bit insecure. You start doubting yourself. You start wondering why you're here. Because that was my most intimate. I want to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. One of my favorite lines in the album is where we say, you really need to go to therapy. And I say, real niggas don't go to therapy. Because that's how niggas feel, you know what I'm saying? We grow up where our parents don't know about that, our grandparents don't know about that. You live and you experience the shit that you go through and you deal with it right then and there, or you don't never deal with it. We forget that if we're stronger on the inner core, ain't nothing nobody else can do.
I didn't know you were suffering from depression the way you said you was on the album.
Is this real? Is there poetic license? Like where did that come from? What prompted that?
It's a drastic change when you're around so many different faces that you don't quite understand and meet different people, and things are going on back home that it's out of your control to handle. You know what I'm saying?
How can I really have love for my partner next to me, you know, if I don't know who I am? How can I have love for my city if I don't know who I am?
First and foremost, I want to thank my family for giving me the courage, you know, and the vulnerability to share these stories and share my truth with this album.
They're talking about us.
Talking about you?
Yeah. He's talking about us. He's talking about his family.
Yeah.
Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
Did you know when you went in just to do that verse that it would take and it would have this kind of impact?
No, I didn't know until after you see the hooray and hoorah about it. The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. Hip-hop is a sport, so you're gonna have these little spits and spats. And it's all good because personally I respect these dudes as, you know, as people. I think people forgot that I'm actually from the West Coast. The aggression that we have in our music, I can't run from that.
My intent was to always keep, I think from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. This has always been the core definition of who I am.
That's all. I'm influenced by Cube. I'm influenced by Dre. You know, I grew up off gangster rap, and that aggression will always be in me.
All of a sudden, it just fucked the whole game up.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Drake is here to Side 97. You should get into a rap battle.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
I feel like that's just,
I
feel like those things are of the moment.
He's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about.
Yeah, man. Damn, Drake, he got you out of here, bro. Damn, Drake. That dude Kendrick came and took you out, bro. Damn.
Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay.
But you seem just now a little irritated by it. No?
Really? It was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
Miscellaneous time.
I see. Fight is over.
The Grammy goes to Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar.
You just came off a huge Grammy wins. You walked away with 5 awards. It has been a little bit mind-bending that you created this massive cultural award-winning anthem out of a battle rap song.
I was just thinking about the culture, really. When people talk about rap, man, the conversations I hear, they think it's just rap and it's not an actual art form. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps. From awards to the billboards, all that, because this is just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre.
Juneteenth, Kendrick Lamar announced a concert called Pop Out.
Every section, every known and probably unknown section of LA's gang members were in one place at the same time. By any other metric of any other time, they would be in the streets killing each other. And now they're all inside in one place right now. Maybe for the good of unity, the good of the community, maybe Drake should try one more time.
Yeah, I never noticed that the dog. I never noticed the dog inside the video. I never noticed that. I guess I was looking at the women too much.
I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap. Just all raps and hard-ass beats. That's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats. That's smacking, right? So I always had that DNA. And, you know, you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, M.A.A.D City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? Fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time because not only the energy was lost, but it was the energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. It was a great transition from Mr. Morale because that was my most intimate. I wanted to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. During this time around, I think it was necessary of coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can spread my wings and show every state of who I am as far as Kendrick Lamar.
What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar. and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so.
Did you ever think we'd be at the Super Bowl with this?
I wasn't thinking about no Super Bowl.
You never thought about the Super Bowl
I
with
wasn't thinking about no Super Bowl for sure.
Seeing you perform with Dr. Dre at the halftime show 3 years ago, we already felt like that was the most hip-hop, beautiful halftime show ever. And now for you to come back and be the first solo hip-hop artist to headline, how does it feel being the artist to hit that milestone? And, you know, just your thoughts on what that means about hip-hop's progression and impact over the years.
For me, that should mean everything because...
Yo, it's so crazy how people was so upset about this halftime show. And if you watch it, you realize that even though you can say he was still paying tribute to America. Maybe people say, well, he was showing the atrocities of America. No, yeah, he was giving you how to move in America and how we are treated or how we was treated and how it is now. But if you look at that point, he never really dissed America. I think a lot of people who seen that was really upset. They didn't understand the dynamic of it. They just knew he was not on their side politically, so he just automatically, they just tuned it out. It's like, you don't want to pay attention.
It puts the culture on the forefront where it needs to be and not minimized to just a catchy song or verse. This is a true art form. So to represent it on this type of stage, it's like, I don't take it for granted at all as far as an art form, you know?
Kendrick Lamar's Compton. Kendrick Lamar's the county building that me and my moms had to walk to every month. Kendrick Lamar's an everyday person telling stories about lives that, you know, reflect not only me, but the people that's listening. You know, Kendrick Lamar is a human being, period. You know, no gimmicks, no nothing. I display emotions of feeling, hurt, pain, depression, happiness. You know, and I think I'm just, yeah, that's the right word for it, a human being. That's Kendrick.
Yeah, that was dope. That was a good one, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Give me a hug. All right. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. I'm out of here. You already know what it is. Torture Talk. See y'all. Peace. Have a good one. Bye.